And now for our final video in Chapter 8, Section 8.12 on the development of the skeleton. Our skeleton formation is going to begin with many bones of the skull through intramembranous ossification, and almost all of the remaining bones in our body goes through endochondral ossification, and these processes were discussed in our previous chapter. Our appendicular skeleton will begin to develop around the 4th week. We'll see that our upper limb buds are going to appear in the early 4th week, and our lower limb buds will appear a few days later. The more proximal parts of the limbs will start to form first, meaning areas of the humerus and areas of the femur. Our limb buds are going to be composed of a lateral plate mesoderm, and you could see that over here where we have mesenchymal differentiation to constitute tissue. It's going to be covered by a layer of ectoderm, where we see this apical ectoderm ridge, and musculature from our somatic mesoderm will migrate to the limbs during the 5th week. At the apex, we are going to see that we get a thickening of this ectoderm, and that's when we call it the apical ectoderm ridge. And this helps to signal underlying tissue to form limb components. Initially, we'll start to see that our limb buds are more cylindrical. Our distal portion of the upper limb is going to form this round paddled shaped hand plate by early 5th week, and then later will come the palm and the fingers. And our lower limb is going to correspond by the formation of a foot plate, and this forms during the 6th week. And we get the formation of digital rays. These are just longitudinal thickening of the hand and foot plates, and eventually these will form digits. We'll see these appearing close to the late 6th week or the early 7th week for the foot. And initially it is connected by tissue, and later it undergoes programmed cell death. We'll see separate digits completed by the 8th week, which we see over here in our lower limb and here in our upper limb. Now for some clinical views, we have a couple malformations that can take place. For instance, polydactyly. This is when we have an extra digit. Typically, it's a 6th digit by the 5th digit. We can suffer from ectrodactyly, and this is an absence of a digit. So here you could see that this person only has 4 digits. Syndactyly is when we have a webbing or an abnormal digit fusion that takes place, meaning that there was an issue trying to go through this process of programmed cell death, and these digits end up sticking together. We have amelia, in which there is an absence of the limbs, and then phocomelia, in which we have short, poorly formed limbs. This can occur due to genetic or environmental influences. For example, there was a drug that was given as a sleep aid known as thalidomide, and this caused severe disruption of limb formation if it was taken during the 4th and 8th weeks of pregnancy.